Remember when we were kids? We used to collect things that were important to us and then used to bury them in the ground, and we used to call it our treasure. It was fun to do so, and then later on we used to draw a map and search for the treasure, which we clearly knew where we hid. At that time when we were kids, it was so much fun and we used to enjoy this little game of ours. Well, this was not something that we discovered on our own. This was a thing that was done by pirates. They used to hide their treasure and then make maps so they would remember where it was. Something similar was done in Egypt too. Around 4,500 years ago, they used to also make pyramids to bury their kings, and they also used to bury their treasure with them. But it was a lengthy process as it would take so much time to make the pyramids. And if you want to know how they used to do this, then we already made a video on that. You can go and check it out at the link in the description or the I button above. Trust me, you'll enjoy the video. So around 3,000 years ago, ancient Egyptians decided to stop making pyramids and start burying their kings and queens somewhere else. And they chose some big mountains of limestone that are 500 kilometers away from Egypt. This place is also known as the Valley of Kings. They used to make a chamber and bury their kings there with all their treasure. And even today, we are going to talk about one treasure that was found in the early 1900s and almost shook the world. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Incredible Theory YouTube channel. Here you will find some of the world's most compelling, intriguing scientific stories, strange discoveries, imagination, adventure, lost knowledge, myths and legends, and unusual ancient artifacts. Much knowledge has either been lost or hidden from us for many years. It's now time for humanity to re-educate itself in regards to the profound world we live in. Now, the first question that arises is, why would these people even bury the treasure with their kings? Well, the ancient Egyptians used to believe that in the afterlife, the people who die use the things that they used to use when they were alive. Well, that explains why they bury the treasure of their kings with them in their chambers. The kings used to make their coffins when they were alive, and the thing is, this coffin is made out of gold. These people were damn rich, so as soon as they died, they could be buried in their chamber and it could be sealed off completely. That's a great way to take their treasure even after you die. In the last 200 years, archaeologists have found 65 tombs in the Valley of the Kings, but on the downside, they were all empty. Now, why is that? According to the experts, it happened because everybody knew about these chambers. Because of that, these were a treat for robbers, and that is what they did. They got to the Valley of Kings and robbed as many tombs as they could, or the ones that they found. They stole every bit of treasure but left some king's mummy along the way. But one unfortunate day in 1922, when British archaeologist Howard Carter was working on his site in the King's Valley, and he suddenly saw a step that looked like the starting step of a stair, and it was going into the mountain. This step amazed him and he decided to dig up the dirt. I mean literally dig up the dirt. The excavation team started digging up the surroundings and they kept on finding more steps. Now one thing was prominent, and that was that these steps will take them to something very ancient. After a lot of digs, they found one more tomb. It was a tomb whose entrance was sealed around 3,000 years ago. After removing all the stones that were blocking the entrance, when Howard Carter went inside the chamber, he saw that there was tons of treasure. It was something that someone had never seen before. Almost everything that was inside the chamber was made out of gold, including jewelry, statues, and other stuff. There were also clothes inside this chamber. And there was one more chamber inside this, where there was a gold coffin and a mummy was still inside it. And just for the fun fact, that coffin cover was weighing 90 kilograms in pure gold. I hope I get it somehow. One more thing that was different about this chamber was that the color of the paintings on the wall were very bright, even though it was painted 3,000 years back. Now, this tomb started many questions as to how this tomb was out of reach for the robbers. This mummy belongs to which king? And how is the color of the painting still so bright? By researching the mummy, doctors found out this mummy belongs to a king who was just 18 years old. When the DNA from this mummy was cross-checked with the others, they found out that this father's mummy was found in tomb 55 and his mother's mummy was found in tomb 3. The name of this king was Tutankhamun, and he became king at age 8 when his father passed away, and after ruling for 10 years, he died. Now we know who this mummy belongs to, but due to the lack of technology, they weren't able to answer other questions. And in 1939, the person who discovered the tomb of the 18th dynasty king also passed away. Research was also stopped after his passing. But as the day rises, technology also did the same, and then one day Egyptologist Elia Ismail came on the field to solve all these mysteries with the help of technology. She was interested in finding out how come this tomb was never robbed by robbers and what the life of the young king was like. The first thing she did was run the wall paintings through software, and as soon as she did that, it was pretty clear that why these paintings were so bright. You see, she found out that they painted this when the plaster was still wet. This may have happened as there was almost no way for air to enter this chamber. It was located 26 feet below ground. Maybe they had little to no time. That's why they painted over the wet plaster. Now the question was, why weren't they able to wait for the plaster to dry? To answer this question, they ran a DNA test on the mummy again. According to the latest DNA reports, the king was just 18 years old but was suffering from multiple diseases. His left leg didn't used to work, his backbone was crooked, and he used to get frequent malaria attacks. Doctors speculated that he also died due to a surprise malaria attack, and this could be a reason why tomb makers have almost no time as their king had an untimely death. The latest DNA reports also stated that his father and mother were blood-related brother and sister. As per the latest medical reports, when two people with the same blood relation marry, then their kid has a high chance of deadly diseases. The last question was, why was this tomb not robbed by robbers like every other tomb? In 1922, when this tomb was originally found, there were a lot of rocks that were blocking the entrance of the tomb, and other tombs weren't covered by rocks. This could be the reason why robbers weren't able to find the entrance to this tomb. So how these rocks came over to the entrance of the tomb? Well, according to the drone view, there was a time when a river used to run over the mountain, and as time passed, these rivers eroded many rocks, and due to earthquakes, these rocks settled down on the entrance of the chamber. This was the only possible explanation that the researcher could come up with. All the unanswered questions were answered by current technology, and we are all really thankful for that. So this is it about the 3,000-year-old hidden treasure. Now you guys go on down in the comments section and tell us what you think the gold is worth that they found inside the tomb, and we will give you an answer after a week in another video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to stay notified about our amazing content. Until next time, bye-bye.